Hello, good morning, and welcome to the Full Force podcast. Full Force News Burst, that's what it is. Full Force News Burst unboxing with me, Christopher McLeod AKA Diagnostic 80, brought to you by GeneralsJoesReborn.com and the very good folks at In Demand Toys. Yes, I'm going to be looking at opening, in actual fact, Tiger Force Dusty and Python Patrol Crimson Guard, the newest Target exclusives that have just finally kind of appeared in my what would you call it, mailbox. That's what you call it. Sorry, it's early. I've got to think about these things. Anyway, yes, amazing stuff. Like I said, it's taken a while to get these. Especially when we've been seeing them for so long. Like they leaked early. We had images of the Crimson Guard. I think it was first. We had this kind of image of the Crimson Guard pop up ages ago. So we knew it was kind of coming. We knew the listings like for a long time, but have seen these figures for so long. So it's been like agony, and now they're finally shipping in most scenarios. I think Hasbro Pulse is shipping them. Everywhere is shipping them now, so that's great stuff. What we saying on the old comments already? Good morning, Michael G. Fleming. Good morning, Durant. Good morning, Pastor Pierogi. Hello. Anyway, Pastor Pierogi says, I'll admit I skipped watching the weekly live to go hunt for those two, but I did find them in central Wisconsin. I'm happy for you. And you can always watch the weekly afterwards. You know what I'm saying? You can always catch Pat and I gas bagging about that entire week after the fact. So that's really cool. Thank you very much. I guess then we might as well start unboxing as I awkwardly put my entire fist through the screen. Yeah, let's do this. Who should we start with? That's a good point, isn't it? Who shall we start with? I am very excited for both of these because I'm a big fan. Look at me doing the actual spinning thing. Yeah, I'm very excited for both of these. So I don't know which one to go first. I'm going to just say, let's open Dusty. Okay. I didn't know which one I was going to go for, and then I just closed my eyes. I knew which hand they were in. That was hilarious. We'll do Dusty first, then. Let's get into Dusty. And I do have the other figures. I have first Dusty and the I think it's the first standard issue version of the Crimson Guard with me today as well to do comparison. Right, so let's start with the box. We've it feels like a bit old-fashioned at this point, doesn't it? But this kind of like full art box, which again, like it's okay, but it's nowhere near the new box style. I love that new box style, and I'm really sad that it's going to be shifting again to kind of like window boxes. Durant says Cobra always first. Sorry, I didn't see that. It was too late. Toy Bounty Hunter says early. It's like 8:30 there, isn't it? 6:30 here, lol. Well, it's still early for a lot of people, Toy Bounty Hunter. It's not really early for me. I just say that a lot of the time. But I have been up for about 4 or 5 hours. Yeah, let's go with let's talk about this now anyway. So Dusty, you've got the full artwork on the front of the box with that kind of like sheen, kind of gloss finish, which isn't all over the box. Like this section down here is in matte, and the little the little digital renders in gloss as well, and the G.I. Joe logos in gloss. So there's some nice little aspects going on here, like some like elements on the actual box itself. We've got the Tiger Force logo over here. There you go. We've got, like I said, the figure render on the front. We've got the Classified Series, G.I. Joe Classified Series Dusty. I'm surprised they didn't put Tiger Force Dusty on there, but I guess everywhere else just insinuates that, doesn't it? That's just really the character name. And then on the, obviously the artwork is it's nice. It's kind of very deserty. Now he is obviously in Tiger Force in this version, so you'd think they might have thrown some jungle in there, but no, they've kept with the desert theme, which is totally cool, and a very subtle change in the colors. It's not like it's completely obvious that it's changed if you look at the other box, which I don't have at hand, unfortunately. But there are like ever so slight, like some slight stripe detailing on that particular character. You can definitely see it on his upper arms anyway. So they've definitely changed that. There's a stripe on the helmet there as well on the big shot. So they have actually made differences to this particular original artwork. On the side as well, it kind of continues around the side, and we've got Dusty kind of checking the sand. It's not, I would say it's not the most dynamic artwork for a character I've ever seen. This shot up here is the most kind of interesting one, where he's kind of like up against the wall with the rifle. But you know, he's effectively just checking the sand out, tracks and stuff, I guess. That's a nice kind of shot in the silhouette in the with all the dust and the sand in the distance in front of him and everything. Very nice. But yeah, not the most dynamic, I would have to say. Then on the side, it's number 65, by the way. And then we've got the ability section, which I think comms. I want to say that's communications. Yeah. Shall I get the key out? Yeah, I should get the key out and work out what these are, even though people are going to tell me immediately in the comments, and I'm just going to ignore it and do it myself because lols. If I can find them, it's been a while since I checked this key out, and we've had a lot of reveals since. There we are. Okay, so first things first, on top we have that one, and we've seen this one before, the kind of shield. Now it's a level 4, I believe. Yeah, that is a level 4, so it's a very high level at this particular one. And that is, I think it's environmental specialist, obviously. So we've seen that a few times. We saw it on the Arctic Bat. We saw it on Snowjob, I think. But Dusty is an environmental specialist level 4, that environment obviously being the desert. We've got this one as well, which is a level, I want to say that's a level 2. Yes, level 2. Oh, I lost it. It's a level 2, and it's the little ammo belt. And that means light weapons. So he's a level 2 light weapons. Interesting. Next, I'm just having a look in the comments to see if people have rushed in to tell me what they are. I think that's communications, but we're going to have a look. That's level 1. And if I go through all of the different options, why can't I find it? This happens a lot. I'm like, I can't find it, and it's right there. I see it. It is. Why won't it zoom in? So annoying. Linguistics, in actual fact, not communications. I mean, it's a type of communications, but yeah, linguistics level 1. So Dusty has a couple of languages up his sleeve or out of his mouth. And then I'm guessing that's desert specialists, and that's level 4 as well. And let's have a look at that particular one. That is, I believe it's just desert. Yeah, environmental specialist desert. So he's an environmental specialist level 4 and desert environmental specialist level 4. So that makes sense. Linguistics level 1 and light weapons level 2 or 3, did I say? I think it's level 2. Level 2. Cool. There you go. That's all of Dusty's special abilities read out. Then you've got the render on the back and everything. Again, showing all of his gear and his loadout. Let's just get into this one, shall we? He says every single time. Little snip of the tape either side, just on the sides here. Little snip, snip, done. And let's see what we've got. So we'll start with the footlocker, which should be the old style footlocker in blue. And it is, yeah, it's got the cool readout. This is my favorite of all the footlockers in design-wise. I just love the little kind of like like the lock, the kind of number lock on the front. I think that's really cool. What we're saying, I've been at work for a quarter of the workday already, says Michael G. and Fleming. So this is not early for you at all. When Window will be back, spring 2024. Super Sign is the when the Windows return. I should be getting my Dusty and CG sometime this week, says Toy Bounty Hunter. I just got mine the other day, says Durant. Love them both. Dusty does seem to have a long neck, but I think it's needed to fit his helmet. Good day all, says Toombs. Expert at texting while driving, says George. Hello, George. Yeah, that's what that linguistics actually means. Expert in texting. A text spurt. Gross. Number 65 with the handles on the top and the logo and the kind of hinges of the fake locker on the back. We've got handles on the sides as well, and we've got the kind of footers on the bottom. And I like these foot lockers because they're all the right way up. So if that's the way it goes, then everything is pointing in the right direction. I've not really enjoyed that about some of the other foot lockers. So pop this open, and yeah, some of the newer ones I'm not a fan of. The packaging is great, but the foot lockers are a bit weird. Legal, don't need that. And we've got a bag of his gear, like so. And I enter this like a bag of crisps. Just pull them apart at the top, and then we can roll them out on the thing here, and you can see them in real time. I do like this new format of mine. This kind of like little table that we've got going on here. And in the meanwhile, I will pop this all back together and slot it back in his box, or just I'll just put it out of the way. There we go. So we have got the backpack in dark brown, which is nice. And obviously they're all the little material, like all the detail they go into, and even the bit you don't really see when he's got it, when he's wearing it. Love that. Little canteens on the side as well, because it gets a little bit thirsty in the desert. And just for comparison, we've got other Dusty to see the difference in color. As you can see there, the new one is a much darker color. That's a more kind of I don't know, like a brownier brown, a lighter brown. There you go. We'll be obviously getting Dusty out as well to the actual comparison. I love this weapon, man. Is this the FN FAL, I want to say, or some sort of like upgrade on it? But I love it. It's so cool. You've got the bipod that kind of folds up like so. Nice. And kind of like you can kind of see the silhouette that it kind of gives off there. But like, yeah, it folds that down, and you've got the bipod out there. It's really nice. I do like this. This is one of my favorite rifles in the classified series. And of course, just for comparison, we've got the other one, which if we have a look, it doesn't have as much in the way of detail in deco, does it? This is, no, it's got the brown, it's a brown bipod, but the actual rifle is black. And in this one, we've got the, it's like a dark gray all over with the green butt. So I think, actually, is that brown? No, it kind of looks like a dark grey all over, including the bipod. No, the bipod's brown. Yeah, I think the bipod's the same colour as the... No, it's darker. I could have just shown you that. It is actually like a grey, and it's a bit darker than the other bipod. You can kind of see it a little bit there. So it's brown on Dusty, on the Dusty figure, but it's like a dark grey on this one. You can stay there then, fine. Then we've got the long goggles, which go over the helmet, and they've got that red. They've got the red kind of lenses as opposed to the silver ones, like so. And then obviously the goggles that we're going to put underneath his hat in the same way that we did with other Dusty to keep his hat on, and they're just like that. So kind of the same situation, really. And in terms of headgear, obviously we've got the original and we've got the new green version with the kind of grey straps on there. Nice kind of, yeah, nice deco change. And of course, to match how the kind of vintage Dusty looked in with that gear. I was giving my shoulders a workout up here. And then we've got the dagger, his little knife, which is nice little detail on that. And I'll just get the other one out of here just to kind of show you if there are any differences, mix them up a little bit. So we've got the new one here. This is the new one, and this is the older one. So the older one's got a slightly lighter handle, but it's not by much, is it? Interesting. Anyway, that's going to go back in Dusty's little thingy, and this one can be put on the other Dusty, which we're going to unveil now. Drum roll, please. Is he going to be awake or is he going to be asleep? Get your votes in. I'm going to say sleepy. No, he's awake. He's wide awake. Wide awake. There is Dusty. He has got a bit of a long neck, but again, it's the same figure. So we're looking at one right here that's the exact same. Loving the deco. I would definitely think he needs more stripes on the lower torso, but in terms of the arms, I think he's got plenty of stripes on there. Tadeur, which is obviously Rudat in reverse, and that's an homage to Ron Rudat. you know, legendary G.I. Joe designer. If you weren't aware, I'd be surprised if you weren't. And G.I. Joe's the other tag on there as well. He's got the face paint on there, which is dope and different to the original, which we'll have a look at in a second. And obviously the green pants, different green to the green shirt, and his brown boots with a little knife sheath on the one of the right boot there. Very nice. Let's get him out. Now, with the Target exclusives in the background, you just have the logo. You don't have the kind of like artwork in black and white like they're doing on the new ones, which again is a lovely touch on the new packaging. And it's not like, you know, it's not necessary. It's not one of those, you know, unless you're kind of displaying it in a certain way. But I don't know many people that are displaying their figures inside this little, you know, this little box thing. But the artwork is still very nice. Okay, he's out of there. Let's put you down. Straight out of the box, just the same as every other classifier. But nice, you know, solid joints straight away, and immediately you can move them, get them into positions, get them posing, etc., etc. And he looks great. I do love this deco. Again, a little sparse in the stripes on the torso, though. Obviously, we've got those two stripes on the kind of top of the torso, but I definitely would have liked to see more of that on the lower torso, and even on the back as well would have been nice. His web gear isn't lining up with his backpack hole there, but there you go. There it is. I didn't notice that on the other Dusty, but there's like a little, is that like a little water canteen thing? Like a little camelback? Yeah. And then he just goes, yeah, that's pretty cool. I've never, ever noticed that on the original, because it's all the same color, I think, which I'm looking at right now. I say I think. I'm pretty sure it is. Yeah. So that kind of was a little hidden on the original. So the fact that, oh no, it is a different color. It's green, but it's quite subtle. I just didn't notice it. I'm pretty sure I'm not sure if I did an unboxing for this Dusty, but I probably would have noticed it if I did it then. But that is definitely a little bit more subtle than the kind of red on brown, which does stand out a bit more. And the paint app has gone a little bit wayward there, as you can see. And on the front here, it's a little bit tighter than it is on the back, but there's a little bit, yeah, it's a little bit tighter. They need a better mask on that one, don't they, when they do that? Let's have a look at the two head sculpts next to each other as well, because I really want to see that deco difference. Let's get Dusty in a position where I can hold them both comfortably as well. There we go. I do love this figure, though. I really do like this figure. Anyway, there is them head sculpts. As you can see, the deco is completely different on the face. Different kind of like position. That's, yeah, just completely different. So I like the fact they've done that to differentiate them a little bit. A lot of people say he looks like Duke, but it's just a white dude with slightly blonde hair. Of course, it's going to look like Duke. How, you know, that we all, well, all white dudes look the same. But I think, yeah, I mean, as there's differences there, in my opinion, I think. So yeah, this is Dusty. I want to gear him up now. I should gear both of them up, and then we can have a good old fashioned compare off. Right, I'm going to put those goggles back on his head to keep the headgear on, because I just realized I was putting the headgear on without them, and I was like, oh, the headgear's loose. Yeah, of course it is. It does look better when you put the goggles underneath as well. It kind of keeps it in a very nice position. So that's that Dusty. Let's give him his backpack back. There we go. But we're here for this one, really, technically, at the end of the day. Oh, we're having wardrobe malfunctions already. So you go and stand there for a second while I do this, Dusty. You're not even on screen, but that doesn't matter. Yeah, I do, like I said, I do love this figure. I love the deco. And one of the reasons I really, really like this figure is the nostalgia I have for Tiger Force Dusty, because I had both Dusties as a kid, but I remember, again, it's the same story I tell so many times, but I got Tiger Force Dusty in the United States when I was a little kid, and it was seeing Tiger Force was so exciting. Even though a lot of them were repaints, well, they were all repaints, but some of them were figures that I never had originally. So it was like, oh, cool, I can get that roadblock, you know, I can get that tripwire, I can get that bazooka, etc., etc. So in some cases, I didn't have the original figures. Like I didn't have an original Duke, I didn't have an original bazooka, and bazooka was available in the UK. I just never found him. Both versions of that. Well, sorry, the Tiger Force one wasn't, but the regular version was. So, but I didn't have him, and so it was the same. Like with Dusty, was one of the exceptions where I had both figures. But I loved the fact that they did him with the green, that we had the tiger stripes on him. I've put the goggles underneath and put the head on top there. There we go. And let's give him his backpack. Obviously, all goes in as you'd expect, and all the usual issues. The backpack on Dusty, I must admit, is a lot more sturdier in its connection to the figure than most of the classified figures, because I have so many issues with backpacks. It's not even real. And now I'm having an issue getting his trigger finger in there. Go on, there you go. Brilliant. So we have got Tigray Force Dusty, and there is his regular version. Again, I'm a big fan of this particular figure, and I know for a lot of people, I think it was one of those things of like, yes, it's Dusty, etc., but it's very just, you know, very vintage inspired and so on and so forth. But that doesn't bother me. Like I really like this design of this figure. Gross, sorry. I really like the design of this figure. In general, like the vintage design's cool. I love the way they've made him in classified. I love the deco on both figures. I love the fact he was like a refrigeration specialist, you know, and air conditioning and refrigeration, I think it was, or something. His secondary military specialty, which was really funny. But it's necessary too. You don't have the American flag. You don't have the stars and stripes that you do on the standard Dusty, but you do have the name tags. And I guess that's just you know, they're taking some elements away for costing, I guess. Also, I don't think the Tiger Force one had that on it anyway. I don't think it did. So maybe they're just, you know, following that, you know, that design cue as well, I guess. But yeah, really love it. It's an awesome kind of versatile figure. And now we've got a desert specialist in regular Dusty. Excuse me. And we've got and we've got now, I suppose, a jungle and desert specialist. I know he's still a desert specialist. He's like a Tiger Force desert expert. But now we've kind of got desert and jungle for Dusty. And I like that. I like kind of giving him, like changing up his mission specificity. Yeah, that's the right word. Anyway, lovely stuff. And yeah, I'm happy with that. Very satisfying to have these Dusties now. So yeah, thank you, Dusty. Thank you, Dusty. Now, next up, we have Le Crimson Garde. Let's put this away first so I can easily get around things. Right. In actual fact, I'm just going to put Dusty out of the focus at the moment. We'll put him back on screen later when I've finished unboxing the Crimson Guard. Desert and Forest Dusty, that's what it feels like. Yes, absolutely. Pastor Pierogi's asked, has Hasbro talked at all? Sorry, I can't speak. Has Hasbro talked at all about releasing any of the artwork as posters? The Hiss Fire team is a must-have if they do. Well, Pastor Pierogi, they were doing posters for the classified series artwork, like from almost not day one, but from like a while ago, and they were going up on that. There was another website that was doing it. They were doing like the licensed artwork posters for it, but I clearly they didn't do that well because they stopped doing it. So there was talk about a classified series art kind of collection, like an art book, but that seems to have gone a bit quiet as well. I think the main focus is just on the figures, but I would love if they did some sort of compilation art book of the art we've had to this point. Maybe they're waiting for it to hit a certain amount of pages before they release it. Who knows? Because there's some absolutely beautiful artwork. Plus, the art's changed dramatically going into this new series. So maybe there could be a book from like series 1 all the way through to the change in packaging. That could be a thing that would be awesome to see. Wilfredo Diaz says, great to see you on live talking about this Tiger Force Dusty. Well, thank you, Wilfredo. G.I. Joe, the best lines as famous toys. Absolutely. Right, here we go. Crimson Guard. So we've got that gorgeous artwork. I do like this artwork. It's kind of cool. And you've got the aspids in the background there. They use the aspids quite often, don't they? And a fang. That's a fang, isn't it? Yeah, that's definitely a fang. So there's a couple of fangs and an aspid. Obviously, they're giving a bit of backup to the aspid, which is kind of nice. Do you know what? I don't think I've ever noticed that they're fangs in that shot. And it was only just now looking at it close up that it's like, oh, yeah, that's a fang in the background. So, and I love the aspid's one of my favorite kind of Cobra vehicles that never quite made it. I'm hoping that Super 7, now they've got that kind of precedent for 3 3/4 reaction vehicles, and the fact they're doing that Cobra airship, I think them doing a 3 3/4 Aspid would be really cool. I think that'd be amazing. And also, could a Cobra Aspid be a good option, bearing in mind all of the things we've heard over SDCC for a HasLab for classified? I think it could be. It would be chonky, but no bigger than the Dragonfly, I don't think. He says probably would be bigger than the Dragonfly. Anyway, love the artwork on this one. Obviously, they've rejigged it for Python Patrol. We've got the Python Patrol logo there as well, and we've got the figure render on the front and Python Crimson Guard, this says on the bottom here, which is interesting. It doesn't say Tiger Force Dusty on the other one, isn't it? As I mentioned that before, this is just the character name. So you'd think it would just say Crimson Guard, but no, Python Crimson Guard. Some nice stuff in the artwork as well. We've got that briefcase with the Cobra logo on it and money floating around, and them just all firing off in different directions, and that one communicating in his headset, and that one kind of like, you know, with the kind of more ceremonial with the sword. Love it. So, the symbol in the background, the Cobra logo, very nice. Obviously continues to the back, and we get a few of the items that we see in that kind of utilized on the side as well. Kind of lines up with what we see on the front. So they haven't had to make much changes or move much around to get that on there. Okay, let's go back to the key. So Cobra obviously have a slightly different level key to G.I. Joe, but that does look like level 1, doesn't it? Yeah, I think that is. So level 1, and it's a nasty one, and it's Covert Ops, not that nasty. So they are level 1 Covert Ops. You'd think they were higher level than in covert scenarios. Another level 1 in, I'm going to say, demolitions, is that? Explosives, idiot. Sorry, it's explosives. So we've got level 1 Covert Ops, level 1 explosives. Then we've got, that's strength, I believe, I want to say. Let me have a look. Yeah, that's strength. So they've got a level, that's an interesting thing, call out in it, level 2 strength. Weird. And this one is got to be sabotage, hasn't it? Let's have a look. Kind of like the spanner in the works sort of thing, which is, I'll get there. I think it's sabotage. It's on here somewhere. Why can't I find it? It's 2 cogs, and it is sabotage. So yeah, it is sabotage. So it's level 2 sabotage, level 2 strength, level 1 explosives, level 1 Covert Ops. You'd think they'd be a bit higher than that, wouldn't you? You think they'd be a little bit higher than that on those levels, but that's where we're at with the Python Crimson Guard. And there is the kind of call out on the back, the render, not render, the actual figure itself, and the loadout. Nice. This is a 66 for those keeping track of the numbers. It's always funny to see the scramble to see what number is it when a figure is revealed and you don't see the number on the side. It does feel like it's like a really big deal to get those numbers known. Michael Jean Fleming says, after Carson gets the art of G.I. Joe printed and shipped, Hasbro should contact him to do a classified art packaging book. I agree. Off to work, says Pastor Pierogi. Have a great day, bud. That settles it. Classified fan confirmed, says Toy Bounty Hunter. Could you imagine? That'd be great, actually. But also, I could see that happening. I could see that happening in retail now that we've got a Vamp and an SMS coming. That SMS is so much bigger than it appears. 9-inch missiles. That thing's going to be huge. We've got the red, we've got the yellow. Now we just need the jet black shadow guards. I agree, Robert H. I think a black version of this would be really cool. Full Force Monday, says Robert Kalupatan. Absolutely, it is. Right. Open. I want to get in and play with it all. Oh, why can't I get it? There we go. We've got the Foot Locker, and it's the cool red one with, again, the number lock on the front, Python Crimson Guard on the front as well, handles on the top, 66. We've got the kind of footers at the bottom as well, kind of style, handles on the sides, and we've got the Cobra logos on the back with the hinges and everything. So yeah, nice little Foot Locker. I do like I said, I like these Foot Locker designs. They're very nice. We've got the one bag, and we've got legal gump that no one cares about. So put that to the side. Open the baggie. A bag of delicious crisps or chips. Don't eat this stuff, please. Just make sure everything is out of that baggie before I put it back. There we go. And here we go. Right. We have got a black backpack with a silver logo on it. I'm actually gonna I should have brought my retro Crimson Guard because he has the red backpack. That'd have been nice to have a look. I think it's the same. I think it's exactly the same. Just have a look off camera to see if there's any difference. No, that is the same backpack, 100%. Same color, same everything. So that is the same as the standard backpack, which is fine. But obviously the difference comes in the other accessories. Maybe not the pistol. The pistol's probably the same. I'm going to take out the pistol. I'm not going to take the pistol out of his holster because it is well in there. There we go. So this is the got the original on this side and the Python one on this side. Now, I don't know if you can tell if there's any difference there. It looks like maybe the Python one's a bit darker, but I don't think so. The actual handle looks way more detailed, but that was just probably the light. Anyway, they look exactly the same. So it looks like we've got exactly the same pistol. Popping that back in there just to be careful so I don't switch them around by accident. Looks like the same sheath as well. Yeah, it looks like exactly the same sheath, I think. I don't think there's any change or any deco difference or anything. No, it's exactly the same. So we've got the same backpack, same sheath, same pistol, and now we've got the differences coming out. So the sword obviously has the red handle and what looks like a slightly duller blade in terms of that kind of shiny, yeah, it does look like a different kind of blade color as well. Yeah, this is much darker in real life, and it's kind of nice. I like that. So we've got that with the. Let's show the detail, obviously, on the actual handle itself. Very cool. Kind of like all these snake details, lovely stuff. We've got the cool little dagger, which also has some that nice little snake open mouth detailing on it. Again, same kind of situation. It's a darker blade. And a obviously a red handle this time. So effectively, I don't need to compare them, do I? Do I need to compare them? I'm going to do it anyway, just for prosperity or whatever you call it. There we go. Posterity. So there's the differences. And this is a darker blade. It's just when you flash them against the light, it's hard to see the difference, but there is a that's probably the best comparison I can show you for the blades. This is really like shiny chrome, and this is really like a dull grey. Nice one. So I'll put that back in his old sheath. Which way does it go in? It's got to be that way around, hasn't it? Yeah. That's cool. That's cool. Yeah, this Crimson Guard's cool. Obviously, that's not the Crimson Guard we're dealing with. This isn't the Crimson Guard you're looking for. And again, the rifles are different as well. So we've got the, again, the darker blade and the red butt, and the brighter blade and the black butt. Cool, huh? I do like that kind of dark blade thing. It's kind of really ominous. And obviously the magazine does pop out like so. This really is giving me a shoulder workout up here. I don't know. It's actually quite painful. Right. Here we go then. What do we think? Do we think sleepy Crimson Guard, or do we think awake Crimson Guard? I'm gonna go sleepy because I haven't had a sleepy for a while. And I keep saying sleepy, I never say the other one. He's awake, he's wide awake. He's got a little funky little walk going on, but he's wide awake. Right then. Let's have a look at what we've got here. So that Crimson Guard head sculpt is perfect. It's perfection at classified scale. The black kind of helmet with the silver detailing, the silver face mask, and that red visor is awesome. Then we've got the beautiful grey on grey kind of chest pattern with the black cobra sigil and all like the red and silver like elements on it detailing. You've got the bright yellow arms and body underneath with the red and silver again going through the I forget what that's called, the ropes on the through the arm. Very cool. Secondary there, breaking up the chest and the grundle, but obviously kind of like technically the same kind of thing, kind of carrying through. And then obviously the grey on the pants, like the almost white, kind of like off-white pants, and then the black boots with the little silver buckles. Nice. And let's get him out of the old box. And again, this is so easy with the little twist ties. Like that is a thing that they've kind of carried over, and I'm happy they have done, because they're so much easier to get into. Right, okay. Well, like I said, again, straight out of the box, same as all classified figures. They just are in, there's a nice solid feel to the joints. Nothing loose, which is good. And yeah, this is an absolute killer figure in my opinion. In general, the Crimson Guard, and there he is as the Python Crimson Guard. Very cool. And of course, we have the actual Crimson Guard here for comparison as well. Let's have a look at the heads together. As you can see there, it's obviously completely different. They've got the black helmet instead of the red, and they've got that silver instead of the black. And instead of the visor being the same kind of silver, they've gone and put that red on there, which is really, really cool. Obviously, the chest sigil is slightly different in size. It looks like the one on the regular CG is much bigger and a little higher up on the chest itself. But again, like I think both of them look fine and great. And again, there you go. In terms of comparison, there you go, pretty much. Now, this one does have a Python Patrol logo on the upper left bicep, as you can see there. Nice little Python Patrol logo. And of course, on the standard version, they gave him this kind of like that triangular Crimson Guard logo. So they've kind of continued, they've kept with having a tampo on that side on this one, which is really nice. And yeah, that Python Patrol logo is cool. I like that. Right, let's gear him up. Pistol in holster. We're going to I like to put the sword sheath on the side. I just kind of like that look, very ceremonial, and the sword in this said sheath. I'm also going to have him with the blade, which looks like obviously it goes in a certain angle because of because that happens there on the end of the sheath, and that looks nice. in there as well. I love the red on the yellow, on the black, on the grey as well. There's a really nice kind of like color combination going on there. Very, very appealing to me. I know a lot of people don't like the yellow, but I kind of do. Right, I'm putting the rifle in his hand, and that went in a lot easier than Dusty's finger did in the Kitty said in the in his rifle. Right, cool. There we go. Backpack on. Okay, so he is fully geared up and looking cool. You got the sword in the sheath, you got the pistol in the holster, you got the knife in the other sheath. Backpack on. It is such a good figure. I love the Crimson Guard, and I love the Python Crimson Guard as well, by extension. Now, of course, on the backpack you have a little hole here to tab in the sword, so we can actually put the sheath in the side of the backpack instead if you want, like so. So you can have it like that, which is also pretty cool. I'm down with that too. In fact, let's do that with the Python Crimson Guard. So there's a differentiation going on here. We've got, obviously my standard has got the sheath on the side, and he's got his gun kind of mounted on the other side of the backpack. So again, you can do that if you want to. Lots of different kind of combinations you can get out of your Crimson Guards. Very, very happy with both of these. Amazing. Love the Crimson Guard. And there we have it. We have now bust open our Tiger Force Dusty and Python Crimson Guard. They can go head to head now in the sub-team Olympics, G.I. Joe Cobra sub-team Olympics. And yeah, it's I will always enjoy a Python Patrol kind of edition and a Tiger Force one, always. So I'm really happy that we're getting Python Copperhead around the corner. We've got Python Viper apparently shipping next week already. That was a nice kind of surprise as well. And Python Trooper finally. Now, for those who will, like, someone tagged me in a Instagram post the other day. Sorry, I've completely forgotten who it was now. Apologies, but it was basically someone was saying that, what's going on? Is this a trooper or an officer? And it was like, an image of the classified trooper in the vintage one, and then a classified officer in the vintage one next to each other. And obviously, not marrying up in terms of the names. I thought it was common knowledge at this point, but not really. But basically, back in it would have been 88, 89 is when they came out. But it probably would have been in 1988 when the error occurred during the development process. But Hasbro, when they did their kind of Python Patrol reveal in the Toy Fair catalog, the trooper and the officer were both involved in that particular catalog. But they were the actual bodies they used for the repaints were the original trooper and the original officer. Now, I'll just hold this for now because I can't. Anyway, now what happened was at some point during the process of doing the card backs, it looks as though some things were shifted around by accident, and we got because you know how they do the card backs, they have those kind of like, I forget the term used, I always forget that, but they had like, they're like kind of see-through transparencies. That's the word I'm looking for. And you have like artwork, and you had other things that lay out on the card, and then they scan that, and that's the card, right? That's how they used to do it back in the day. They used to lay everything out like a newspaper, old school newspaper style. And you'd have like the card back artwork from Hector Garrido. You'd have, which was on a transparency. You'd have like the name, the text that goes down the side, the logo, all that stuff there were probably like maybe one or two, maybe even three different transparencies that lined up. At some point, they mixed up the trooper and the officer name, which I think with the name also came with the text down the side of what their accessories would have been. So you got the artwork for the character, but you got the wrong name next to it, and that's why. And the text down the side, if you look at the on like the card backs. In fact, go to 3D Joe's. You can really see good examples of that on there. But on those card backs, the accessory description does not match what the card art is doing. So it's just clear to me that the officer and the trooper text was given to the wrong figure. And in doing so, it was a mistake that was made and they were too far along. Because if you look at the Toy Fair catalogue, it says trooper and officer over what you'd expect to be a trooper repaint and an officer repaint. And of course, because of that error on the card, they ran with it, and we ended up with a Python Patrol trooper and a Python Patrol officer who weren't technically troopers or officers. So that was the deal. Now, in Classified, what they decided to do with the Classified series was trying to kind of correct that error, and they made it so that the trooper deco was the trooper, and and the officer deco was the officer. Thing is, when you look at those figures, and now, yeah, if you look at the render, obviously the helmet doesn't have the chevron on it, so it's not an officer. It is definitely the trooper. That was a typo during SDCC, and we have that confirmed. So it is effectively Python Cophead and a Python Trooper that are coming soon. And like I said, it was a typo on the the slide that they were showing off. That is 100% a Trooper. But the thing is, for me, it's the fact that it uses officer parts. The secondary is the same. The build is almost the same, apart from the head, the helmet at least, and the gauntlets, like the lower arms, are different. I think there might be more differences, but for the most part, it's the same figure. So it has made a bit of a confusing mess again for people that didn't quite understand what was going on there. So yeah, just to kind of give you the heads up again, like back in the day in the late 80s, the Python Patrol, Hasbro made that error with the Switch, and Classified series tried to kind of correct that. But in doing so, in using similar parts to an officer, they've revealed a trooper that could easily pass as an officer at the same time, which is hilarious. Like I said, though, the helmet doesn't have the chevron, but the other one does, obviously, that was released first in Classified, the one with the yellow top. Yeah, that's pretty much everything, I think. If I missed anything there, please let me know in the comments, but I don't think I did. What are we saying in the comments, actually? It's been a while here that I haven't looked at anything. I'm always late for reviews, says Figure 6 Pack. It's all right, dude. Don't worry. You can always watch it after the fact. Why is the numbering such a big deal? Are they worried that they will stop being numbered, says Jamie Lynn? I don't know. It's a big deal. I think it's more of an OCD thing, isn't it? It's like that kind of like nice, it kind of uniform, looks good in boxes, showing all the numbers and everything. I think that might be more to it than anything else. But yeah, the numbering has always been a big deal for a lot of people. Crimson Guard Immortals next. Once they milk out the mold for the original, yeah, probably they're probably going to get the black version of the Crimson Guard soon, eventually as well. I think personally, you can consider them heavy armor CGs, Robert. That's cool. It's a good point, actually. Yeah, they kind of are a little bit, aren't they? So glad they went with darker colors instead of the light gray and pale yellow of the vintage, says Toy Bounty Hunter. I think they all both look phenomenal, genuinely. Charlotte's back from vacation. Hope you had a good time. The original Python Guard never had a chest sigil, says the Figure 6 Pack. Yeah, that's added on this one, definitely. If they do, Desert One would look cool. Oh, Crimson Guard Desert would look amazing. Or Desert, as you've said there, Super Sign. But yeah, they would look really cool if they did a Desert Crimson Guard. This is like the Desert Crimson Guard, isn't it? It's kind of like the Lemon Curd. The Python Patrol Lemon Guard. Odd that the Trooper and Copperhead didn't have at least one Tiger Force character render revealed to go with them. Robert H., do not worry. They are doing more Tiger Force figures. Okay? More will be coming. Do not worry. It's not even speculation. It's happening. Don't worry. There's more Tiger Force coming. They were revealing so much that they probably wanted to wind it in a little bit. Bat and Joe says, I wonder if they're... Sorry, wrong one. I wonder if they're going to update a Tiger Force tripwire or pretend that vintage figure never existed. Bat and Joe fan, I would imagine Tiger Force tripwire will probably happen. The weapon loadout for both the officer and the trooper are identical, are they not? Yes, Ben, the loadouts are exactly the same. The backpack, pistol, and sheath are all exactly the same as the original, and the knife, rifle, and sword are different in that they've got the red deco on the handles. And in terms of the blades, all of the blades on all of those weapons, because the rifle has a bayonet as well, are all darker than the kind of shinier swords on the regular Crimson Guard. Robert H says, I prefer the officer mold, so I'm glad it's getting used for the Python Trooper. True. I just kind of feel like I want it to be more trooperish, maybe an infantry, but then again, you're right, Robert H. The officer is a very awesome figure. I agree with you. Nictimus Prime just got them both today. Not bad for repaints. I know they're good, aren't they? But then again, I like the. I don't know. I just like them. I like the decos on both of these. Luke says bad omens for those two, mixed up in 1988 and again at SDCC 2023. Yeah, the confusion continues on that one, Luke, doesn't it? Also, I would say that it was just a typo and it's not going to be on the actual figure. The figure is a trooper, so it's not like, that's an issue. So I wouldn't worry too much. Wilfredo says, ask your viewers to check the like button for this video. Thank you, Wilfredo. Yes, please give us a like on YouTube, and if you're on Facebook as well, that would be great. Give us a react. I'm appreciating all the comments and everything, guys. Really awesome. The figure 6-pack says Desert Scorpion with a cherry on top. Lol. Yeah, the Desert Scorpion would be dope. I'd be well up for that, especially with this massive scorpion pet, kind of mechanical scorpion. That would have to be a figure and pet, and I'd be 100% down for that. Plus, Dusty needs some desert stuff, doesn't he? I mean, we've got this Dusty. I mean, Desert Dusty needs his. In fact, let's have all of them out. Just kind of like a live comparison almost. Hopefully, then it'll fall over. Like I said, this is so precarious. I'm really impressed with the. I see. I even bumped that figure with this one, and they still stayed standing up. I'm impressed with the balance of the classified figures for sure. There's a real look at that done. There we go. Everyone's on show now. So yeah, I would love a Desert Scorpion because I feel like this Dusty needs some more bad guys to fight. So we've got the Desert Commando Snake Eyes, which can join him at this point. We've got what have we got? I suppose the Crimson Vipers have been shown in that production shots, but we definitely need some sort of desert. Like a Desert Scorpion would be perfect, wouldn't it? Yeah, I agree with you on that one, Wilfred. The figure 6-pack. Should we expect? Alexandros Yanis says, should we expect Beachhead in the retro series, perhaps with a new sculpt, head arms, etc.? I don't know. I haven't heard anything about Beachhead again, like in the future on that one, Alexandros. And he has, I mean, there have been reuse for his parts, but I definitely feel like he's one that needs a repaint. Or not needs a repaint, but would, work if they want to reuse the tooling. I don't know if they're going to do like a more like vintage inspired Beachhead. That hasn't really shown up, I would say. I haven't really seen any information about anything new for Beachhead. Not to say it won't happen though. Ben says, I was referring to the Python Patrol trooper and officer. Oh, I see. Sorry, Ben. When you were talking about they had the same loadouts, I was giving you the loadout download for the Crimson Guard. You'd think they would need something different. Yeah, I agree on that one. But you're right. Gridiron Collectibles do amazing things. And plus, there's so many rifles and accessories in the line already that are kind of almost excess. I have a little box of, it's like a little slide. It was like a tea set, I think I had, but it's like a little wooden box with a slide top that is full of like the excess stuff that I don't want to keep in the boxes because I know I'll never get to it. So I keep it like, alternate heads and hair pieces and extra weapons that can't be carried, blast effects that can't be utilized on every single figure, that kind of stuff. And there's loads of it. So yeah, I do agree with you that it should probably have a different weapons loadout, but I don't know. Maybe some element of an error was made during the process of doing that figure. Who knows? Steel Core can support Dusty. Absolutely, figure six pack. You're right. Yeah, because they've got that kind of tan in their deco. So yeah, you can kind of get away with that. I would suggest that we have that they do like a Steel Core Desert, Steel Core Arctic, Steel Core, that kind of thing. That would be so dope. Shark Eye says McLeod and cheese bags. Hello. I like how you're writing McLeod there. That's hilarious, Shark Eyes. Hello, Philly. How you doing, buddy? Major Blood can count as a Desert Cobra, says Ryan. That's a good shout. That's a good shout indeed, Ryan. I like that. But can we get a Major Blood Desert version? That would be cool. I'd be up for a repaint of Blood in that. Maybe like a retool where he's given different things, like, slightly different things to make him a little bit different, but also make him awesome. Yeah, they forgot to add the Dragonov rifle to the Troopers as a figure six pack. Yeah, hopefully it does come with that. And you said use the Marvel Legends figures for the Dragonov rifle. Yeah, they got. I guess that's in the Marvel Legends lineup of accessories. Anyway, that is the unboxing for today, guys. Thanks for joining me. It's been fun chatting away as well in the comments. Again, loads of you at this time of the morning. Appreciate it. Obviously, it's not the morning for everybody. So it's earlier for some and it's later for others. It's totally cool. So I'm glad you could all, for the ones that could, I'm glad you could join me while I open these. Anyway, before we go, let's just wind down quickly. Lots more good stuff for you to come, of course. We've just posted our latest monthly episode. If you haven't checked that out, go do it. I'll be dropping the monthly extra tonight, just in time for the end of the month. And then for August, which we're already in. How has that happened? How are we in August already tomorrow? That's nuts. Anyway, so August, we'll be looking at like a PulseCon. So we did San Diego Comic-Con focus on the monthly this month, where Justin, Pat, and myself picked figures we would like to see done as an SDCC exclusive, and then threw in all of the narrative and the weapons loadout and the packaging design and that kind of stuff. So that was a lot of fun to do. We'll be doing that again for PulseCon exclusives for August monthly. So we go from SDCC straight to PulseCon for next month. Now, the extra episode that will be going up later tonight will be SDCC related, but it will be our Super 7 kind of ideas for like ultimates and things like that. So that's what we're going to be doing on the extra. That'll be going up later today. I'm recording with Justin today as well. We're going to be doing a movie news burst, kind of roundup of all the stories that have been breaking recently around the Transformers G.I. Joe kind of universe now. Crazy stuff. So we'll be talking about that. That will probably go up tomorrow or the day after, but it depends on how long it takes me to edit that. But we'll be recording it today anyway. We've also got, at the end of the week, we're going to be talking to Brian Flynn from Super 7. Then I think the week following that, I'm trying to get in contact with a couple of other guys to do interviews. We've got BMAC from the Transformers team. We're going to be talking about Transformers G.I. Joe Collaborative, which should be fun, and I hope people can enjoy that too. And we'll also be talking following that with Corey Cantalupe, who is ex-Hasbro but is now with Skeletron. And so we're going to be talking about all of his time on the brand, and some of the stuff that we can talk about that he worked on, and then of course going into what he's doing with Skeletron, or not the details, but you know what I mean. So yeah, we're going to be doing a lot of interviews in the next couple of weeks, the next month or so. August is going to be just as busy for content as June and July were, basically. We've got more unboxings, Big Ben and Range Viper, to come as well, because they're going to be delivered very soon. So I'll be doing those. I've got a few more Diamond Select Toys unboxings to do. So if we are free of news in the mornings this week, then we'll be doing unboxings. But if anything kind of crops up that's kind of big deals, we'll be doing them either as and when they happen, or like I said, in the morning shows. Will I be talking to Corey in person, says Mark? Yes, I will be talking to Corey in person. Do you mean like in the same room? I don't think so. We'll be on like a Zoom call, I think, but we could do it in the same room. Like, we're not that far away from each other. But anyway, that's a good shout. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. It's been a lot of fun. Oh, sorry, more questions. Alexandros has asked, Has the classified team said anything about the gummy weapons? Is there a chance we get harder plastic? They haven't, but that's a question I will be asking. And that's another interview that we've got lined up in August. Lenny and Emily again, and hopefully get Tony involved as well. But yeah, that's a question I want to ask them, because we do have issues with the kind of warp on the weapons. And that just seems to be like such a no-brainer to get fixed, because they just need harder durometer on the weapons, definitely. Sharko says, time for me to catch the monthly, which dropped while I was at work. Time zone differences be damned. Sorry, Sharko. Yeah, it's fun. It's a good episode. Really enjoyed it. Justin and Pat came up with some cracking ideas for SDCC, and we talk our favorite tripwires. I wonder which one my favorite is. Good morning, Flaffle. Sherlock says the PPCG reviews are making people wish they'd bought in on the rest of the Python Patrol team. I don't know why you wouldn't. I love the Python Patrol. They're so good. Yes, in the same room, says Mark. Talking Joe says, sorry, Mark says, a lot of people not impressed with Big Ben's droop. Do you mean on the weapon? Let me know. But yeah, again, the weapons are like that at the moment. All of them. Arctic Bat, Snow Job, all had warped weapon. Yeah, soft plastic on his pew-pews. It's the same across all figures. It's not just Big Ben. It's a shame, really, because yeah, what I found was I heated them, right? I got a hairdryer on them for about 30, 40 seconds, right? Like heat, decent amount of heat, but like not to the point where you're going to melt it. And then I just left it on the side, and you leave it for a little while, and it seemed to kind of like find a definite, like, it's straightened it up much better, put it that way. It wasn't perfect, but it did help a lot. So maybe try that with some of the gummy weapons. But yeah, we definitely need harder plastic on the rifles, no doubt about it. Anyway, that is me for today, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. I will see you on the next one, which will probably be the monthly extra today, unless some news happens today, which it could quite well happen. Anyway, it's been a pleasure. You know what to do at the end of all these episodes. First of all, you must ensure that you stay fresh cheese bags. And after 3, 1, 2, 3, full force. See ya. That's it for this installment of the Full Force News Burst. Make sure to like, comment and subscribe. See you next time, and as always, full force. Make sure you get involved with the discussion by liking, sharing and commenting on these videos, and as always you can keep up with the show after listening by following on Twitter @TheFullForce, liking the Facebook page facebook.com/TheFullForce, and if you would like to contact the show you can message us on either of those platforms with feedback and questions. We also have a Patreon page, so if you want to show your support for the show, see your name up in lights on these videos, or enjoy exclusive bonus content, then check out patreon.com/TheFullForce podcast, or click on the link on any of the posts this podcast appears in. Full Force.